In this video, we're going to go over how you can support your loved one when they get out of prison. My name's Nate, and this is the Handcuffed to Freedom channel. This is for people who have been incarcerated and are looking to build a better life. This is for family members who have a loved one who is incarcerated and want to support them on their journey. This is for anyone who believes in second chances. Now, I get asked this question often: how do I support my loved one when they are coming home from prison? We all want our loved ones to succeed and be successful, and we want to know how to best show up for them. But we also want to know how to protect ourselves. So I hope this video can give you some tips and some things to think about and consider when welcoming home your loved one. The first thing I would advise is to give them some space. Now, it's going to be natural for you to want to push them to go get a job and to go to meetings and to go to counseling and to do all of the things that you know are going to help them succeed. But when they first get out, the thing that they really need is just some time to adjust. Getting out of prison is a big deal, and the longer you've done, the more challenging it is. And there are a lot of expectations, and it's a huge weight to carry to know that you have to succeed when odds are against you. But adjusting from that world to this world is a big leap. And things like going to a grocery store, simple things like being in a line or a crowd where you got people surrounding you and bumping into you, can be very nerve-wracking, especially coming from a place like prison. Allow that time for your loved one to adjust. My second piece of advice would be to understand their mindset. So during this time while they're adjusting, just listen. Listen and try to not judge. There's a good chance that prison has warped their perspective a little bit. It may have warped their values a little bit. To survive in that world, you adopt a certain way of being, you protect yourself in certain ways, you adopt certain attitudes, and those attitudes aren't always in line with society and society standards. And just allowing them to express these things and to listen and to understand, you're going to get a very good picture of where they are mentally. Are they in a mindset where they want to go and build a better life and to change things and to have a future? Do they have hope for the future? Do they have confidence in themselves to achieve that? All of this is going to come from just listening and not trying to preach. Try your best not to judge, and just listen and let them vent and let them know that someone is hearing them. Number 3 would be to have an honest conversation. Now, this isn't something that you can force. And during this time while you're listening to them, it's building trust. And they're feeling heard and validated. This is going to naturally lead to a very honest conversation. And that conversation is probably going to be a hard one to have. There's a good chance that you have many resentments from the past. And believe it or not, there's a good chance that your loved one who's getting out of prison has resentments as well. To not acknowledge these resentments is to have a little seed of poison in your heart. I know that's getting a little poetic, but it will cause problems without acknowledging these things. So in this conversation, set the stage that this is a safe space. Take some time to acknowledge how they feel and validate their feelings. And then also talk about your hopes for the future and your fears. And by doing this in a safe space and doing this in a way where both parties are feeling heard and accepted and validated and not judged, is going to build a really strong relationship where this honest conversation becomes the standard for the relationship. Like I said, this isn't something that you need to rush. First, you need to get to know each other again. You need to listen to each other. You need to see where their head's at. And you also need to be able to protect yourself. My next piece of advice is to support them as they support themselves. Now, obviously, if you're watching this video, you want to support them. You want your loved one to succeed. But if they are not willing to support themselves and they're not willing to put in the effort that it's going to take, then no amount of support that you offer will help. In fact, it may enable them to continue bad choices, bad behaviors, or bad cycles that they've set up for themselves. And you let them know that as if they are not putting in the effort, that you will not be supporting them, then that sets a very clear expectation and there are no surprises. They know that if they are going to continue with their old life and their old ways, and they're going to continue to hurt the people in their lives, that you're not going to be there to help them do that. I know that this might sound kind of cold-hearted, but I believe that unless someone is willing to put in the work, then any amount of effort that you put in on your side is not going to help them. In fact, it's only going to enable their own self-destruction. And that brings me to my last point, which would be to set boundaries. Now, through all of this, you are trying so hard to help them build a beautiful life, but you have to protect yourself as well. You need to set very clear boundaries of things that you will and will not accept. Because by having this set at the beginning, it sets a tone that, look, I am here for you and I will be here to support you to the ends of the earth unless you are unwilling to support yourself. I gave you this advice in this order because I believe that by doing it this way, you build a relationship so that when you do set these boundaries, they're meaningful. When you are offering your support, it's something that is very meaningful to them. And it is a relationship that they're not going to want to mess up. But also know that you need to protect yourself and you need to set your own boundaries. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We got links and stuff in the description to that new life. See ya.